Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Wow. I didn't realize management was such a rock and roll subject. This is fantastic. I played in a few bands when I was younger, and I used to love having a crowd like this. So thank you very, very much for coming. First question, do you all speak English? Yes. You sure? Good. I'll tell you why I'm asking. A few years ago, I did a seminar, and it was for English, and they put me in the wrong room. And after about 20 minutes of talking, people... And then I said, do you speak English? And somebody at the back said, no, German! After 20... So I always check that this is an English-speaking room, right? Ich nicht sprechen Sie Deutsch. Right, can I just check, have the envelopes gone out? We've got a few more people than I was expecting, so it might be one between 2 or 3, if that's okay. Don't open them yet. Oops. Okay. Right. So today we're talking about management. My name is Nick Morris. I'm the director and manager of the London School of English. We've been here for 20 years already, and we've been managing fairly effectively. We're still here, so we call that effective. And we've got 40 minutes today, and I'm going to tell you everything that you need to know about management. Every single final detail, okay? Believe me? No, of course not. Management is such a huge subject, and there's so many things that you need to cover and you need to research. After 20 years, I'm still learning about management. I'm still researching, I'm still studying. So we can't possibly cover everything. So I've chosen just a couple of major focus points that we're going to be talking about today. First thing, hands up if you are, or you were, or you want to be a manager. Put your hands up. Wow, okay. Who is a manager right now? Quite a few of you. Where? Can you just give me some ideas? Where are you managing? Gentleman at the back? Where?
I have a few.
Your own firm, yeah?
Yeah.
Well done. Do you enjoy working as a manager? Yeah. Not much. Who wants to be a manager in the future? Few more. Why, sir?
Because it's cool.
Cool. You think? Yeah, okay. All right, anybody else who wants to be a manager over here? No, nobody? Anybody else? Just. You think? People automatically respect you if you're a manager, do they? Have you ever been a manager? No, I didn't think so. No. Yeah. Well, it's a very interesting point because a lot of people think that you're automatically respected if you're a manager. The truth is, people don't respect titles. People respect people. They don't respect titles. So it's very much something that you have to earn, definitely, you know. Okay. And in the future, who thinks they could be? So you said you want to be a manager, sir. Do you think you're going to be an effective one?
Maybe yes.
Why?
Because I'm studying HR management. I get good knowledge.
From studying it? Yeah. There's a big difference between what you study in university and then the experience that you get in the real world, you know. So which is, of course, you know, I'm the director of a school. I completely believe in education, but just be aware it certainly only prepares you for your first day in management. That's what it does. Then you start really learning, you know. Now, hands up. Let's see if I can work this technology. Systems, people. Hey, I can do it. Look at that. Okay. Systems. Who here is a systems person? Put your hands up. Few people. Who's a people person? Okay, so now I know you don't know the difference between systems and peoples, right? Okay. Systems person. These are generally the kind of managers who they like to deal with timetables and rotas. They're very good with budgets and finances and anything that doesn't involve talking to people. You know, lots of working away on the computer with their heads down, not talking to people. And then, oops, there we go. People person, who likes talking to people, who likes the psychology of management, who likes dealing with people. And were you aware that they're two very, very different things? So now I've explained it. Who is systems? Put your hands up. Who's people? Better. Still quite a few people who don't know, right? Are there some of you thinking, I don't know if I'm systems or I don't know if I'm people? True? Very important. Sorry? If you're very talented and you're very naturally lucky, you might be both. In my experience of training managers, people are one or the other. They're naturally either good with systems, numbers and graphs and figures, or they're good with people naturally. It's very unlikely that they're both naturally. That's very, very rare in this world. Why do you think it's important to understand if you're systems or people? Exactly. Now, what do you mean by that? The direction you need to go. So, if you understand you're a systems person, what does that mean?
It means that your knowledge has to be at that direction and to forget about people, I mean.
Forget about people. Yeah.
To go deeper at that direction, just like
So you think to be a good manager, you can choose whether you're systems or people, and you should go down that pathway, yeah?
And it just means that you are very more effective in that direction. Or you should find people who will have the weakest part of you. So if you're a system person, you need someone who will help you with people's person.
Well, in my experience, in the way that we manage at the London School of English, to be an effective manager, you have to be good at both. You can't be one or the other. You can't manage people without being able to manage systems. It's physically impossible. So identifying whether you're systems or you're people identifies what you need to work on. It's that simple for me. So any idea what I am naturally? You've heard me talking for 5 minutes. People, yeah, absolutely. I was a teacher, first of all. I love teaching, and I love groups of people. I like working with people. I like psychology. I am rubbish with finance. Hate it. Numbers, I want to die when I look at a spreadsheet of numbers. Absolutely hate it. But to be good at my job, I have to be able to do it. So I have spent more time and energy trying to get the systems side of me to become overall a good manager. So we're going to look at a little bit of systems and people in what we're doing. So systems, instructions and delegation. We're going to use this as an example of the way that you need to approach improving yourself as a manager. Okay? Now this is a very, very small part of management, I know, but it's a very good example. Because to be an effective manager, you have to get people to do what you ask them to do, right? Sounds easy, doesn't it? Do this. Get the report to me by Friday, 5 o'clock. And yeah, they'll do it, won't they? No problems. Because people like doing what they're told, don't they? No, they don't. Yeah, definitely. Not in such a way, absolutely. There is a very, very clear and refined process about how you get somebody to do what you want them to do, which we're just going to have a look at. How many of you who said that they are managers right now have really sat down and thought and written out a process for how to get somebody to do something for you? Have you ever thought about it? Most managers don't. And yet it's such a huge part of their job, isn't it? As managers, that's what we're doing all the time. We're getting people to do things for us, and most managers don't think about that process. Okay? Let's look at this, okay? So we've got the Business Link exhibition today. And Business Link approached me about a month ago or 6 weeks ago and said, we want you to do the exhibition with us. And it was great. We love working with Business Link because they're just fantastic. So, but I knew that I would have to get one of my managers involved in the preparation for it, okay? So what we did, I said, hi, come in. We were just waiting for you, don't worry. We said, I need my manager, Vasya, to take care of the organization of the Business Link exhibition, right? So I first chose who I wanted, okay? Now, of course, Vasya was really, really pleased to know that he's going to be involved in the organization of the Business Link exhibition. That's a picture of him when he found out. And, of course, which represents, really, how do you think Vasya felt about having something else to do? Could be. It depends on your team, doesn't it? And what kind of team spirit you've got. But the important thing to remember is that as a manager, of course, you're very optimistic. You're very passionate. You want to do the best for your company, don't you? Does that mean everybody below you is the same? No. If you've got people working for you that it's just a job and they come in 9 to 5 and they don't really care about the success of the company that much, do they? They just want to get paid and then they want to get home. So you can have this kind of reaction. Don't think that everybody is going to be thrilled that you're asking them to do something. Okay? Rule number 1 of the process. And what we define here, the first step, who's responsible and why? Now, you think Vasya is responsible for doing this. Does Vasya think that? Might not be. Absolutely not. And again, here's something that a lot of managers miss, is that if you give instructions to somebody and they're thinking, that's not my job, that's not in my contract, that's not in my job description, you've got problems straight away, even before you've told them what you want them to do. So you must check, why are you asking this person to do it? What's the reason? Are they going to be comfortable with this? Yeah? Would you ever say to somebody, because it's in your contract? Try not to. People don't like that. Yeah? They don't follow that kind of management just because it's in the contract. So here's what I said to Vasya. As part of your ongoing management training, I'd like you to organize this exhibition. Puts you in a position where you can organize other events. You'll make lots of useful contacts. So I explained to him exactly why I wanted him to do it, why I thought he was the right person. Okay? Then what did I do? Any ideas? Is that okay with you? Yeah. Now, of course, as his manager, do I need to get his confirmation? Not really. I'm his boss. Do it because I say so, right? So why did I ask him if that's okay?
Because if you ask him, he will know his free will to do that, and he will organize his work better than if you yes, just give him order. And if he knows he have opportunity to choose do or not to do, and he chose to do, he will do it better.
Does he really have a choice, though? Not really. So why am I asking him?
Maybe this question will inspire him to do this job.
It might do. Really, I'm doing it so that later he can't say to me, I never wanted to do it anyway. Because that happens sometimes, you know? A week later he says, no, I never wanted to do that. If he said, yep, that's okay with me, absolutely. He's basically saying he accepts the responsibility, which again is another very important part. So you've identified who, you've identified why, you've explained, and you've got agreement. Even before we started talking about what he's got to do, right? Really, really important. Then, okay, background information. Next step, at this point, I tell Vasya everything about the Business Link exhibition. What happened in previous years, who the contacts are, what's happening, why it's happening, what kind of things he needs to prepare. Full information, absolutely. Which again, a lot of managers forget to do. So it's very, very important to fully inform the people who you're working with. Then clear instructions. Very, very clear, okay? Again, you've got to sit down as a manager and really think, what do I want them to do? Think what, how, and most importantly, when. The when is absolutely essential. You've got to set a deadline. You've got to give a date and a time, okay? As a manager, never ask somebody to do something and leave the room without telling them when they need to do it. Okay? Think about your own experience. How many times have you been asked to do something by a manager and no deadline was set? Quite a lot? What does that mean? Never. Never, usually. You know? If you're not given a deadline, and that is something that you will choose not to do until tomorrow, right? So definitely, absolutely set a deadline. Okay. Now the next step, I asked Vasya to put all of that in an email, including the deadlines and the instructions and everything, and I got him to email it to me, saying, let me know beforehand if you have any questions or problems or anything that you need to know. So what does that mean? Why did I ask him to do that? First thing, has he really understood? Okay. I've told him what I think he understands. And of course, in my head, it makes sense. All right? In his head, has it made the same amount of sense? You know? When I'm talking to my dog, I think my dog understands. My dog's sitting there going, yeah. Uh-huh. So it's exactly the same kind of principle. If he now has to put it into an email back to me, then it's fine. What does that also do? There's something about writing which is very different as a form of communication to speaking. When you put something in writing, what's the difference? Sorry? Absolutely, it structures it. It makes him think about what he's doing. But what else? Evidence. Haha, yeah. Have you ever had a conversation where you've agreed something verbally and then it's, oh no, you misunderstood, or I didn't understand what you meant, or you didn't say that. You didn't say Monday, you said Tuesday. You can do it in spoken discourse, right? Can't do it when it's in an email. If he's put his deadline as Friday, 5 o'clock in an email, nothing he could do about that. Completely. So very, very important to do that. You're also giving him a structure and a comfort, because think about when you've got your boss, if you write your boss a letter saying, okay, I'm going to do A, B, and C by Wednesday, okay? You're kind of doing the same thing with them. Your boss can't come back to you and say you've got that wrong, because you could say, I put it in an email to you. Look, we've got the evidence. So it actually, if he's a good worker, it gives him some structure and it gives him some confidence in you. It's all very, very clear, which is a good thing. Okay. And let's see. Then finally, what we at the school call the checklist meeting. So you've gone through everything, you've put it in writing. Now go off and do it, and then get back to me on Friday, and we're going to go check, 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 check. Yes, 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 yes. Okay. So that, in its simplest form, is how to give instructions. Okay, seems obvious, doesn't it? Yeah? How many of you do it? No, never ever done it. How many of you have thought through the simplest of procedures like that as managers? Thought through what you're going to do and why you're going to do it. With each of these stages, I told you why I'm doing it, right? That's the really important thing. Think through what you're going to do and why you're going to do it. And that goes for anything, whether it's how to give instructions or how to set up a budget or how to organize an event, whatever it might be, think through the procedure very, very carefully as managers. Don't do something, in English, what we call off the top of your head. Everything must be thought through, okay, and used with experience. Okay, so that's an example of a system. Now we're going to move on to people. Okay. Now's the time to open the envelope, please. You will probably need to share and follow the instructions, which are there. Take 3 or 4 minutes for this, okay? Please share with anybody that you can around you. You got some ideas? Good. Okay, who's got some ideas they'd like to share? Yes, madam. Or she. Not just, yeah.
Well aware of the subject, what should people do? Because if he doesn't know what and how it's done, he can tell us what.
Right. That's what we call self-knowledge. Yeah, so knowledge about your own particular job. Absolutely, yeah. What was the first word you said?
Professional.
Professional? Did you say confident? Yeah, sorry, I thought you did. Yeah, confident. Absolutely. It's one of the key things in a good manager is confidence. Absolutely. The best managers I've ever worked with are the ones who, even when they're wrong, they're extremely confident in what they're saying. You know, not so good.
Not always. If the person realizes he's wrong and he's pushing his way, it's not good. Maybe it's good when he can say, okay, I was wrong.
That's still confidence though, right? Yeah. It actually takes more confidence to say I was wrong, you know, because that's a very, very difficult thing to say. So, yeah, confidence, absolutely essential. Self-knowledge, really, really important. People won't follow you if you don't know your own subject, basically. What else? Yeah?
He should be responsible.
Or she?
Yes.
Yeah. Who makes better managers, men or women?
Women.
Women! Yes. What do you think, men or women? Depends on what?
Depends on the person.
If he or she person, assistant, people, or both.
Uh-huh. Doesn't matter if it's men or women.
Doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
absolutely. In Ukraine, do you think there's any difference between Ukraine and Britain and America as to whether it's men or women?
Yes.
It's harder for people to follow women because we are kind of used to that managers are men.
Uh-huh.
It's harder to accept that it is women, especially for men.
Mm-hmm. Especially in Ukraine. I'll let you into a little secret. 95% of our managers at the school who are Ukrainian are women. Absolutely. In education, absolutely. There certainly are more women who have education degrees, pedagogical degrees, certainly. But because we manage along quite different lines to traditional, shall we say, Ukrainian management of 20 or 30 years ago, it is very different. We just find that Ukrainian women are more open to learning and to change and different systems than the men. Not saying whether it's good or bad, but they're just more open to it. That's all. So, interesting little point. You know. What other characteristics? Yeah.
They should be innovative and creative.
Innovative and creative or proactive?
Creative and proactive.
Creative and proactive. Absolutely, yeah. Proactivity, yeah, the leading, absolutely. Not just responding to what other people do, but being proactive, being creative, creating new systems.
And also they should encourage their employees.
Encouraging, definitely, yeah. Any more?
Optimistic.
Optimistic, yeah. Definitely, yes. No, that's actually very, very true. Yeah.
I'm manager, and I had a contract 3 months,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm optimistic because usually
Exactly.
more contracts.
No, it's very, very true. I find one of the things I don't like in my managers is being told that something won't work. You know, sometimes you get people who are always instantly saying it won't work because. Yeah, I don't like that. You know, I don't mind if they're right about that, But I like people that are optimistic about how are we going to make it work. If something is a good idea and the result is going to be a good thing, I like people that say, ooh, that's going to be difficult. How are we going to make that work? Not, it won't work because. So you must be optimistic. You must be positive, yeah. Any more? So one more? Yeah? Soft skilled. What do you mean by soft skills? So what do you mean by soft skills? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And technical skills as well, like just human profession. Just the accounting specialization, for example, you have to handle
Mm-hmm.
like that. So soft skills are really important for people person
Yeah.
who wants to be effective.
Yeah, absolutely. So do you mean learning how to communicate effectively? And yeah, absolutely. Very, very true. Okay. Now, here's the important part. We got all of that. Now, how honest can you be about yourself now? Okay. So you've got all of those ideas about what a good manager is, right? And we could talk for hours about that, and I'm sure we'll all agree that all of the positive skills are important. But how honest can you be about your characteristics? How many of these characteristics do you possess? Okay.
Most of them.
You think? Yeah. Have you listed only the characteristics that you possess? Because you are optimistic, you think that's what a good manager should be. Yeah? Think about what you've written. Have you done any of that? You know, if you're a people or a systems person, have you written down the things which are more orientated towards people or systems? Have you listed the characteristics that you think you have and ignored the things that you know you are not? Can you be honest with yourself? Look at your adjectives and think that? Yeah. What do you need to change about your personality? Now, who here can tell me what's wrong with them? What's bad about your personality? Who can tell me something? Oh, anything. Doesn't matter. Tell me something negative about yourself that.
I do not do well budgeting and spreadsheet.
And what have you done about that?
Well, I've taken some Excel course,
Mm-hmm.
but still it doesn't help much.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm getting help from other coworkers.
Excellent. Good. That's a very honest answer and a very good answer. Who gets angry very easily here? There's a few honest people. Who is rude here? You are? You're rude? Really? Why are you rude?
I don't know, it's just me.
That's just me. I'm rude. I don't care. It's like, who are you rude to? You're.
To my family, to my friends. I'm not, I'm rude, but it doesn't, but in some situations.
Mm-hmm. Really?
Fighting against it.
Okay. Anybody else rude here? No? Now, I bet we've got, 80, 90 people in this room. I bet a lot of you are rude. Aren't you? Yeah? Yeah, I bet you are. Look, if we got 100 people in here, I bet at least 50% of the people in this room can be rude sometimes. I bet you... Well, it's always necessary when you're rude, isn't it? Yeah, it's never unnecessary. It's always necessary in your mind when you're rude. Absolutely. Who's a bad driver here? Oh my God, you're really admitting it. Usually if I say that to a room, it's like, no, I'm a great driver. Then the next question is, what do you think about the quality of driving in Kyiv? Oh my God. Is it any of you? No, it's not us, is it? No. Everybody else on the road is an idiot, not me. I'm fine. I've never been in an accident. A lot happen around me, but it's not me. Absolutely not, you see. Now, the point is that most people find it incredibly difficult to identify where they need to improve, especially when it's about their character. Because your character is something which is very, very personal. Yeah? That level of honesty about, being rude is very unusual, actually, We all know that people are rude. Everybody can be rude. Some people know they're rude, but they won't admit it. Absolutely not. Especially not in the workplace. Because remember, here, we're in a seminar. You don't know each other, do you? You'll probably never see each other again. I'll never see your face after this seminar. So you can say whatever you like to me. Now imagine I was your boss. And I said, have you been rude? Would you admit it to me? You would? No, oh, you lie as well. So you're rude and you're a liar. I've never had this level of honesty before at all. So, yeah.
I admit that I'm have never been rude. I will not lie. I don't want to lie, so I'm not rude.
So would you lie to your boss and say that you hadn't been rude? Yeah, most people would. Absolutely, But there's an instinctive sense of self-preservation because it's your job. You don't want to lose your job, so it's an automatic reaction. Lie your way out of it. Absolutely, So the point here is, and this is one thing that we constantly talk about with our managers all of the time, the ability to be self-aware is absolutely essential when dealing with people. How do other people see you? Do they have the same idea of your persona or mask as you do? And when you're dealing with people, it's absolutely essential to honestly identify, how do people see me? What things do I need to change about myself? And in my experience of managing and training managers in 20 years, the successful ones are those that can say, you know what, I got that wrong. Oh, I did that badly. That was terrible. I need to do something about that. And then go on and do something about it. All of the people who refuse to accept where they've gone wrong and refuse to actually say, I need to do that better, they fail as managers in decent companies. So this idea of self-awareness is absolutely essential. You see? Okay. So we've got 3 or 4 minutes left. Would you like to ask any questions about management in general or how we manage at our school, which is managed along fairly traditional British lines? Have you got any questions?
What is the key point of success?
As a manager, a combination of self-knowledge and self-awareness is the key point of success. You need to know your subject, absolutely. So for me, managing a language school, the London School of English, I had to put myself through all of the essential examinations. So I have an NVQ level 7 in teaching. Did I really need to do this to be owner and director of a school? No. But for me, it was essential that I know as much, if not more, than the people who I'm managing. So that's why I took that level of qualification. Then I am pretty, or always have been, fairly self-aware of what my failings were, where I wasn't so good, and what I needed to change. And most importantly, I have always tried to change what's wrong with me over the years. Takes some time sometimes. Things that can take years to actually change about yourself. But it's very, very important to keep trying. Yeah? That's the key to success. How did I try? I actually, a little bit of a strange thing, I imagine myself as an actor. Okay? And I imagine that I'm acting a role. I identify what I need to change. One of the things, I'll tell you honestly, years ago, because I'm English, and English people don't like conflict by nature. We're very, if you walk into somebody in England, they will say sorry to you. So it's, oh, sorry, I didn't mean to. We don't like conflict at all. And so when I first became a manager, I found it very, very difficult to say, hang on, come here. I don't agree with you. You're wrong. And as a manager, sometimes you've got to tell people they're wrong. You know, you've actually got to say to them, that was not good enough. The work that you did was substandard, wasn't good enough. Most English people would rather cut their hands off than actually say that. So what I did was I actually pretended. Have you ever seen Robert De Niro when he's doing his like sort of Goodfellas, American gangster, Italian kind of thing? I imagined I was in that role. You know, I imagined what would Robert De Niro as an Italian gangster say to this guy? And it worked, you know. You see? Have we got time for one more question, Dima, or not? Is he got? Okay, one more question quickly before he comes up. Yeah.
What is the best thing to write your colleagues or your employees to do for your best?
To
To their best in their role in their area.
how to encourage them?
Yeah, to encourage people to do it right.
Good communication. Talk to your, yeah, absolutely. Talk to the people who you work with as much as possible. Create that. Yeah, sorry, I was asking if you, so we're finished now, yeah? Okay, absolutely. Communication. Talk to them as much as you possibly can. Build up a decent relationship with them. Most important thing. Okay? All right, thank you very much.